Let me take quick recap of yesterday's session, right? So yesterday we have seen component bundle of lightning component, right? So we have seen why component file is used, okay, to show the UI to the users. That code we write in this file component, the extension would be .cmp for this file, okay. After that we have seen controller file, okay. So controller file is nothing but your client side code logic, okay. You have to write in the control file, and extension is .js, which is a javascript file extension, okay. Javascript only, you can write javascript code in the control file. Same goes with the this, okay. But in helper you have to write your common logic, okay. Why common logic we have to write in the helper instead of controller? Because if you write common logic in the controller, then the length of the code will be increased drastically, which is not very manageable. That's why we move that common logic into a helper so that we can call it from the controller, okay. And this is also a javascript file, okay. ये भी एक javascript file है, ठीक है। उसके बाद हमने क्या देखा था, style file. So style basically use होता है styling for your component or UI code, okay. HTML code you can style using this style component. All your CSS classes will be defined in this style file, okay. So the extension would be .css, okay, simple. And the documentation, we will see the standard SLDS classes today, okay. So yesterday we have seen the custom CSS, but today we will see how to apply standard CSS classes. Documentation is nothing but to describe your component, okay, to describe your lightning component purpose, okay. Means why the component is developed, okay. So brief description about your lightning component we have to describe in this file, okay, documentation. And renderer, I guess we haven't covered these three yesterday. So renderer is nothing but whenever let me first explain you with the help of okay. So you can see the components are loading a bit by bit. It is not loaded completely for us, right? First this component is loaded, then this, right? So these are in a rendering process, you can say, okay. These are not completely rendered, okay, while we are viewing that, okay. Now if you see this page, this is after the code is completely rendered, okay. After the components are completely rendered, you will see such kind of a thing. Means this is just for example, but if you, let's say this is my custom component, this advanced code searcher, and while rendering, first this part will load and again this part will load, okay. One by one the components are getting loaded. So these are nothing but in a rendering process, okay. After the rendering process is completed, your component will be loaded completely on the UI, okay. So then only a user can interact with your component, okay. So nothing, the rendering means nothing but if you want to override, okay, if you want to override standard rendering process with your custom logic, okay, then we have to use this file, okay. So means how to override the standard behavior means, let's say this is my standard component. If I refresh this, okay, you can see one icon was there, right? Let me go to the accounts. You can see one icon was there, right? Elephant icon was there. Let's say I don't want this default behavior, I want to show my own custom icon, okay, on the UI instead of that Salesforce standard one, okay. So if you want to override such kind of a thing, rendering behavior, okay, that time you should create one rendering.js. So this is also to override standard rendering standard rendering behavior, and this is also a JS file, okay. This will be override. So yeah, this is the part of rendering, okay. So this is just a small example I have given. So while we are coding, we will see this rendering thing. Okay, means we will override some things before the component is getting completely loaded. Okay, that time we are going to override it with the code. Okay, after that we have one design file. Okay, so this is nothing but this is actually helpful for the admin people. Okay, means if you go to yesterday's code. Okay, let's see yesterday's code. Okay, so we have created one hello world aura component and we haven't created these three files, right? Okay, you can see the syntax of this controller JS and this is similar. Okay, no difference. Okay, this will be start with the round bracket, after that curly braces, inside that your function will be goes here. Okay, I will share one link which explains this process of rendering. Okay, so you can read more on this. And after that design. Okay, so design component will be like this. So let me give one example. Okay, a design means, let's say you must have heard about record types, right, in your admin lectures. So if I click on new, let's say, let me check whether I have created. Okay, I haven't created any record type yet here. So if you want to show different components or different fields for different record type, okay, and based on the record type you want to execute some logic, okay, conditionally. Okay, at that time you should go for the design file. Okay, basically this is a part of configuration, means based on some value your code will be executed. Okay, let's say my record type. Okay, record type for the account is one is standard. Okay, standard account, this is my record type. Another record type I have is private account, let's say. Okay, these are my two record types. And if the record type, okay, if the record type is equal to this standard account, okay, show custom or a component. Okay, let's, this is, I am just giving a theoretical example, we will see it practically. Okay, after that let's say I want to show private account record type. Okay, let's say I have this private account है मेरे पास, let's say, ठीक है, और private account पे I don't want to show the, I want to show standard account form. Okay, standard account for form means this. Okay, this is the standard. Okay, और अगर मेरा record type अगर standard let's say standard account है मेरा record type. Okay, at that time I want to show the custom aura component instead of this standard form. I want to show my custom. So ये logic कैसे करोगे तुम, कहाँ लिखोगे ये logic? Okay, so ये logic define करने के लिए हमारे पास एक component होता है design component. Okay, so here we have to define those things. Okay, so this is just a basic overview. Okay, we will see in depth. Okay, how will this design component be going to work with practical examples. Okay, so keep it to keep it simple, I am just explaining the basic example for that, why it is used and how we are going to configure that. Okay, and after that we have SVG. Okay, SVG you can say nothing but the graphics icons, basically scalar vector graphics. Okay, if you go here SVG, okay, you can see this is how we define the SVGs. Okay, SVG means you can define your custom icons. Okay, so that's why Aura has provided one feature that you can define your SVGs in this SVG file. Okay, this is the default SVG file. Okay, you can override this with your own SVG icon files. Okay, own icon, custom icon configuration. Okay, and that you can use. So for example purpose, let me show you one block. Okay, we will also see that. Okay, so here we have to create, just simply replace this standard code with this. Okay, and after that you can add that code to your component, means wherever you want to show that component. So you currently will not know how to define the component to show in this account record type or let's say home page. Okay, so we will see that. Okay, so let me go back to CSS. Okay, CSS class, and let me execute the code, lightning application preview. Okay, so yesterday we have written some code, right? Hello world, and one button we have written, and on click of that button one alert will be shown, right? Good morning. And I if I click on OK, one helper method will be called. Okay, if you see, let me go back to the component. Okay, if you see here, I have defined one paragraph tag with my custom class, my class. Okay, hello world is given, and after that we have written a one button, right? So button label is click here. Okay, lightning button is there, and on click of that button call the display method. Okay, so this is our display method written in the controller file. Okay, so here we have written one alert, good morning. Okay, so this is being displayed. Okay, after that we have also written one method in the helper class, that is helper method. You can write any name here. Okay, for demo purpose I have given just a helper method. You can write any name here. Okay, that is customizable. Okay, and here also I have written one alert. Okay, so when I click on that button, okay, when I click on that button, display method is called, this alert is shown. After the control goes to this method helper. Okay, helper के यहाँ पे आएगा, फिर alert message show हो जाएगा. ठीक है यहाँ से. So now what we want to do is we will going to use SLDS standard classes. This is our custom class, right? So let's use one custom class instead of that. So in first or second lecture, I guess I have explained the SLDS, Lightning Design System. Okay, this is nothing but the custom CSS, means standard Salesforce CSS classes. Let's say we want to add padding. Okay, let me go to padding. Okay, so what we will do, we will add bottom padding. Let's say, okay. So let's say we will use this. Okay, SLDS padding bottom large. Okay, this class we are going to use. Okay, currently you can see there is no gap between the hello world and the button, right? No gap is there. So let's add that padding. Okay, how you can add? You can define multiple classes like this. Okay, so you can use custom class, also you can use standard class, combination of both you can use. So control S, save. Okay, now again refresh your component. You can see no padding is added, but it should be added over here. Okay, let me add the border here. Okay, let's add one border. Okay, let's say 4px solid. Let's say this class. Okay, refresh. So one border is added. Okay, let me try to define one more button here. Okay, let's say we define one div here. Instead, let's move this paragraph tag into div. Okay, class. Let's move this SLDS here. Okay, and we will define another class here. Okay, let's say here we will not use any class. Okay, and let's change the message. Standard SLDS class not used here. Okay, and here standard SLDS class is used. Okay, save. Okay, refresh. Okay, it is gone. Okay, all the CS is gone. Okay, you can see if there is a error in your code. Okay, you might sometimes say error like this. Okay, so why it is showing this kind of a error? Because there was a syntactical mistake in my code. Okay, what was the mistake? You can see message element type div class must be followed by either a attribute or this. Okay, means div should be ended with like this, or you should follow some attribute. Okay, so we haven't gave space in between this. Okay, earlier it was like this, so that's why you can see the div is highlighted in red color. Okay, so this means there is a syntactical mistake. Okay, so give space and save. Okay, now the highlight of why it is not giving space, let me check. Okay, got it. So why it is not giving any space here? Because in lightning application we have to extend this from force colon slds. This is the standard package which will apply the standard css, standard Salesforce css. Okay, let me save and update the preview. Now you can see the space is being added, right? And the button, you will see the button color is also changed. Okay, let me re undo this, save, again update. You can see now the button is look like this. Okay, if I apply slds, okay, extends force colon slds, this is the standard Salesforce package which applies the css. Okay, now the button color is changed, you can see. Okay, anyone explain where do you have seen this button? If you go to your Salesforce, or you can see the button is much similar like this. Okay, you can see the new button. Okay, and the click here. Okay, the same formatting is done here. Let's say we want to change the brand. Okay, let's say if I click on new, if you want your button to be like this, you can make it. How you can make it? Using button property. So here one is property is there, that is called as variant. Okay, if you specify variant as brand, okay, your button color will be changed. I guess spelling mistake is there, variant.
सर याच्या आधी का आपण बटन वरती काही कोडिंग केली नव्हती, फक्त आपण
I
हा
think
डायरेक्टली SLDS.
correct.
हा तर मग तो बटन का चेंज झाला त्यावेळेस?
म्हणजे आताचं बटन म्हणतोय का हे?
हा हा,
Yes,
इथे आपण
so
नाही केलं.
yeah, so we haven't changed any code in the button. Okay, we just applied the css, custom css. Okay, let me show you how the button color is changed. Okay, if I remove this, okay, the button is like this. If you click on inspect element, okay, through inspect you can see the css code and html code of any particular element which is visible on your page, right? Now you can see the button tag. Okay, expand this, you can see there is only classes are applied, that is slds button underscore neutral. Okay, this is our this aura class. Okay, aura package, aura name, you can say component name, hello world aura. Okay, but the class is added by default here, but we haven't provided the css to them. Okay, if you see here, you can see only button tag is there in the css. Okay, only button is there, no slds button or slds button neutral class is there. You can see if you scroll down, no class is there, css class is there. Okay, now let me add the this package, save and modify that. Okay, let's go to that button again. Okay, now you can see here slds button neutral classes are added, css file properties are added by default here. Okay, you can see
सर
slds button neutral.
ज्यावेळेस आपण हा क्लास एक्सटेंड करू त्यावेळेस आपल्या कंपोनंट मध्ये जेवढे काही बटन्स असतील तर ते सगळे चेंज होणार का?
Yes, but generally he application साठी आहे. Okay, this is but we are going to develop the application into this. Okay, for demo purpose we are using this application file. Okay, but in later on we will use that component in these components, like in account or in home page, we will see that. Okay, no worries, one by one we will see that. So I have just explained the difference, what difference is there, how the icon is changed. Okay, how the ui is changed. Okay,
सर आपण तो
because
पॅडिंग ऍड करायची होती म्हणून तो यूज करत होतो ना?
yes, so padding means what, की class add झाला होता तिथे, right? The class was added there, right? if you see, the class is added but the property is not provided. It means like this, if I have provided one class here and I haven't given any property here like this, okay, so how the CSS will be changed? I haven't provided any files, right, any property there. And if I save this and if I refresh this, the yellow color and the border will be gone. Okay, it is gone. Why? Because the property is not defined there. Okay, so this class will provide the properties for us. Okay, so that's where this UI is changed. Okay, that's how the UI is changed. Okay. Okay, so let me uncomment the code. Css. Okay, this. Okay. Okay, now let's see what is the another part we have. Okay, so there are various SLDS classes you can use. This is just an example of padding. You can see there are utilities. Okay, if you see, let me increase the font a bit. You can see here are the utilities. Utilities means different component which for which you can define your classes, SLDS classes. Let me go to alignment. Okay, so to center the element or center a text inside a div, you can use this standard Salesforce class, that is SLDS align underscore absolute center. So it will make your element in the center of the this div. Okay, so let's use this in our code. Okay, let's say I have one div like this. Okay, and let me, okay, this is my div and inside this I have given one text. Okay, and applied this class. Okay, and you can also use inline CSS also, no problem in that. Okay, now refresh the application. Now you can see the content is within the center of my div. Okay, currently there is no border added to that. Let's add the border. Okay, border colon one, let's say 2px solid black. If refresh, okay, no border is added. What happened? 2px 9css. Okay, main purpose is that we have to center the element, right? 2px solid, it should apply the border actually. Let me increase the size. Okay, the border is applied in, you can see the content is in the center. So such type of various things we have, various standard classes, you can explore this. Okay, you can try custom means creating one separate UI for that. Just practice on this to increase your CSS knowledge. Okay, if you want to do customization, follow this link, I will share that on the group. Okay, and how you can practice bit by bit. Okay, just create one sample application like this, how we have created, and just add these classes. Let's say this is the border part. Okay, if you want to add the border, okay, top border. Okay, so you can add like this. Okay, if you want to add bottom border, you can see a line is added below that text. Okay, a line is added left side of that. Okay, due to this screen sharing, you, it might not be visible to you right now. Okay, but you can see that. Okay, now after that we have box. Okay, so various CSS classes we have, you can explore this. I will share the link. We will cover some of them in the class. Okay. Okay, now get back. Okay, we have seen the custom CSS, right? Okay, so we have created one lightning component, we have styled the component using our custom CSS and with SLDS classes too. For applying the SLDS classes, you have to extend your application with extend force colon SLDS. Okay, but if you want to deploy your component inside the Salesforce or, okay, well, let's say account or attend any object, that time you don't need to use this. Okay, at that time we don't we are not going to use the application also. Okay, so this I have also shared the link. Okay, now the second part. Okay, So introducing the lightning base component. Base component means what? Nothing but the basic component which we use in a form. Okay. So if you have seen, let's say any registration page. Okay. Let me go here. Registration form. Okay. Go to image. You can see such type of a form you will see. Okay. Various fields in the form will be present. Okay. Let me check if I can find one better form. Okay. Yeah. This looks good. Okay. So now you can see here. Okay, now if you see here this page, you have first name, middle name. These all are text type, right? All are the in a text input, text of input of type text, right? And this is course is what is a, of type of pick list. You can see it is a type of pick list drop down, you can say. Gender, what is this? This is the radio button. Okay, group of radio buttons. Okay, phone number. Okay, number type of input. Address means input of type address. Email of type in email type. Password, it means whenever you enter password, it is going to show the dot 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 symbol instead of your actual string. Okay, mask, it will mask that your string with the dot. Okay, so such kind of a thing if you want to implement in Salesforce, how you can implement, okay, that we are going to see. Okay, so these are nothing but the Salesforce lightning based component. Okay, so we will see this right now. So let me close this, go to Salesforce lightning input. Okay, so this is the standard Salesforce documentation. Here you will find all the standard component. Okay, all the base component. Okay, you can see this much of base component we have. Okay, inside the lightning package we have this much of base components are there. So we will see some of them. Okay, it is not possible to cover all of them in the class. Okay, otherwise the class take 2 to 3 months. Okay, so now input. Okay, we are going to see first input. So let's say we will add this all the inputs, okay, in the class. So what we will do, we will create another component. Let me close all of this, close other tabs. Okay, now create new component, lightning component. Now you can write here lightning base component demo. Okay, submit. Your component is created, right? So now just paste the code here. You can see I will explain what I have written here. Okay, so you can see a simple row class is applied here. Okay, so let's use that also. Okay, okay, they haven't provided the CSS here. Okay, 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 let's save this class. Okay, and comment this one. Okay, because we are not using this one right now, so let's comment this one. Now call the class C colon lightning base component demo. Okay, close this, save, update the preview. Okay, now you can see all the date similar to this UI. Okay, you can see this UI we have rendered here. Okay, so this is a type of date. Okay, I will explain here bit by bit. Okay, so first one is let me hide this one. Okay, so first one is a simple date type. Okay, you can say type equal to date. Okay, name you can provide anything, label you can provide anything, but the types are fixed. Okay, date, text, string. Okay, that type of types we have. So lightning colon input, type equal to date, name you can provide anything, label you can provide anything. Okay, and now basic date will be visible like this. Okay, date icon will be there. Okay, calendar icon, if I click on this, calendar will be pop up in front of me. Okay, you can set any values, any date value. Okay, so you can see currently the date is being set here whenever I select any date. So it is as simple as that. You just have to write one single line of a code to select a date or to develop a date component. Okay, date input. Okay, but in other coding languages you have to develop separate component for that. Okay, separate coding for that to import this calendar kind of a thing. Okay, but in Salesforce it is by default added through this, okay, lightning inputs. Okay, so now the second variant. Okay, type is date. Okay, what is the difference here? We have provided one default value here. Okay, you can see 2029/7, it is the default value provided by us. You can see if I refresh this, okay, here the default value is not provided, that's why it is blank, but here it is provided, but I have to change that. So we can simply change that from here. Okay, so just like this you can change. Now the third one is what? Different date type value. So these are the ISO formats. Okay, so date have various formats. Okay, date ISO format. Okay, search like this. In ISO format, various time zones are there. Okay, based on the time zone, the date format is defined. Okay, so you can go here and you can search over here. Okay, date formats are given based on the time zone. Okay, you can see European, the date is shown in this format, in USA this time. Okay, in India it is different. Okay, so that kind of a thing formatted based on the ISO formats. Okay, so you don't need to worry about this. Okay, okay, now the third one. Okay, third one is what? Date field with placeholder are nothing but some text. Before adding any input to that, before any user intervention into with that input field, some text should be shown to the user to explain what is this. Okay, so here, type here they have given as a placeholder value. Okay, instead of this we can type here, please select a proper date. Okay, save. Okay, refresh. Now you can see, please select a proper date. So it explains the user, please select a date. Okay, just click over that, the placeholder will be replaced with the provided input. Okay, now the fourth one. Okay, fourth one is what? Okay, advanced input date. Okay, so let's say you have defined the date input and you want to make it as mandatory. Okay, you don't want to submit the form before selecting the date. Okay, means you haven't selected date and user is submitting the form, it should prevent the form from submitting. Okay, so how you can use that? So there is one attribute known as required, so you have to make it true. Okay, so it will add one asterisk sign here. Okay, you can see if I hover over that, one title will be shown, required. Okay, so user will be know that this field is required, I have to provide that field. So simple, values are same, we are just seeing the different variants of the date. Okay, after that we have read only attribute. You know, read only means read only means you can't change that value. Okay, it is only read only. Okay, you can't change value. Okay, you can see if I try to click on this, it is not showing me the calendar pop-up, it is in disabled form. Okay, if you see this, so that's why it is in read only format, that's why we can't select the date. After that we have disabled. Okay, disabled value you can say. Okay, so in here you can't click on that also. Okay, you can see if I hover over that, one symbol is there in front of it, that is selection of this field is not allowed. Okay, so that means disabled. Okay, if you just want to show to the user in a any input in the disabled format, you have to use disabled keyword, disabled attribute equal to true, and if you want to show in the readable format, read only equal to true. Simple. Now the most advanced version of date is what? I have provided one default value, right? September 7, 2020, and the minimum date value I can set and the maximum value I can set is provided here. Okay, let's click on that, and let's say I am selecting date from, you can see I don't have the this year. Year is not there, only 2020 is there. If I select over there, you can see I can see multiple years. Okay, you can see multiple years are there, but if I click on here, you can see only 2020 shown. Why is that? Because we have set the minimum date 2020 year, max date is also of 2020 year. Let me change to 2022. So now what will happen? You can select 2020, 2021 and 2022. So 3 years you can select. Let me refresh that. Okay. Now you can see I have three dates. Okay, so this way you can restrict user from selecting a particular date. Okay, you can provide a set of dates that only from this type of dates you can only select any date from the given values. Okay, other than that it is not possible to select any date. Okay, so this way we can define various date formats. Okay, now let's check for the input. Okay, I will explain that date from here only, okay, because it will time consuming. Okay, date time. So we have seen the date, right? So let's say I want to provide the date as well as the time. Okay, so this is the same part as we have seen earlier. Okay, the date is there, the years are there, any date you can select. Okay, but if you want to provide the time value, how you can provide that? Okay, so we have date time input also. You can see instead of date we have now date time. Okay, so this is the default value. Okay, so whatever your org version or this website version, this will automatically set here, and you can change it from here. Okay, so these are the custom date time values you can select. Okay, pm am, all the given dates are there. Okay, so this is basic date time version. Now let's say I want to provide date time with predefined value. Okay, so you can provide the date in this kind of a format. Okay, so the date will be selected, the time will be selected based on the provided value. So this is predefined value. Now the required value is also same. Okay, required equal to true, then one icon will be there, this star, you can say required star will be there. Okay, after that disabled will be this. Okay, the same attribute we are going to use with other different type of inputs. Okay, types, you can say different input types. Okay, after that we can also provide the min max time and date. As we have seen for the date, similar to that time we can also set that. Okay, if you want to only specify, let's say I want to only select the time between 12:30 a.m. to 12 let's say 1:30 p.m. so that thing can be configured from here. Okay, mean time you can give, max time you can give here. Okay, so that way we can configure those things, date time. Okay, so these are just basic. Now time input, let's say you just want to add the time, not date. So just instead of date time you just have to provide the time, and all other things are same. Okay, required equal to 2, disabled equal to 2, predefined value, placeholder. Okay, these are all standard. Okay, these are all standard attribute, value, required, disabled, label, name. Okay, type, you are just changing the type value here. Based on that you have to provide the values. Okay, so you can see the time is provided in this format. Okay, now color input, you can also input the color. Okay, this is a very means useful input if you are dealing with let's say custom UI. Okay, and your client wants to change the UI based on the selected color. Okay, selected theme you want to change. Okay, so at that time this input is useful. Okay, you can see I can select any color here, so the color will be stored in the RGB format. Okay, so this is in stored in the RGB format. Okay, you can see the values are getting changed here. So this is R means for red, green, blue. Okay, this is the version, and this is the hex code for the color. Okay, and you can also provide the color here. Let me provide one color here. Okay, you can see the color is changed here. Okay, whatever color I have selected here, just copy the hex value and paste over here. Okay, the color will be changed. Okay, so this is how we are changing the color. Okay, so there are various input. Let's take the last one, like input, text input we will see. Okay, so this is the very simplest input. Okay, text input. Okay, just name and label we have. We don't need to specify the type here, because by default the type is text only. Okay, for lightning input by default the type is text. If you want to use type other than text, then you have to provide the type attribute. Okay, so text are simple, just name, label. Okay, this is the name. Okay, name, label, anything you can provide here. Okay, and if you want to define predefined value is used, initial value, predefined value. Okay, type here is the placeholder, which we have seen already, right? Placeholder. After that we have read only, right? Read only we have seen. Okay, this is the read only, this is the disabled one. Okay, this is the required. Okay, so all things basic property we have seen. Okay, now what we are going to see, We have seen the lightning button input. Now let's see the lightning button. Okay, so here you have to search that button over here. Lightning button is there, means inside lightning package button, search for button. So inside lightning button we have to search this. Okay, so these are the different type of colors. Okay, you can apply to a button. Okay, you can see in this org. Okay, so these by default this color will be there for the button, and this is the different variant. Okay, so this how we can define the color for button like this. Okay, let me explain. So this is the basic button, first of all. Okay, these are the basics button. Okay, so here one attribute is there, that is this base. Okay, so it is the base variant. Okay, like this, no border will be added to it. Okay, and the default value for the button is this neutral. So we have developed the code, right? Let me uncomment that code. Demo purpose, let me uncomment this, save, apply. So this button you can see here, this is the neutral button. Okay, you can see border is added to the button. Okay, so this is the neutral, by default neutral button is selected. You don't have to provide the variant. Okay, we haven't provided any variant here. If you let me go back to the component. Okay, cmp, yes. So we haven't provided any variant over here, right? You can see we haven't provided any variant, so it will take by default variant, that is neutral. Let's change that to base variant. Okay, let's change that to base variant. Okay, now save. If I refresh this application, the border will be gone. Okay, let's refresh. Now you can see no border is added to this button, right? Only text is visible. So that's how the base variant looks. Okay, neutral we have seen. Now let's see brand. Okay, so for brand you have to provide brand keyword, brand value. Okay, variant as brand. Save, refresh. You can see the button color is changed and border will be added. So this way you can color your button and provide different types of variants. Okay, so what is the use of different these colors? Okay, let's say you want to show some success message. Okay, on button click. Okay, that time you can use green button, right? And you want to, let's say, delete some record. Okay, at that time you can provide one button with color of with variant like destructive, and provide text delete. Okay, so this way red means any destruction. Okay, you can say destruction. So destruction means removing any element or removing any object from your Salesforce org. Okay, at that time you can use such kind of a button. Okay, so it will visually appealing to the users. Okay, and you can add the brand variant while creating a you can see in the org. If I click on this, so these are the button variant. While saving or updating the existing account, this button variant is used in everywhere. Okay, so this is about button. Okay, this is all about button. Now let's say I want to disable the button. Okay, so you just have to provide disable property equal to true. Okay, similarly. Okay, let's say you want to provide icon with the button. Okay, so we have slds, right? I have already explained slds. Just go to the icons. Okay, so here let me zoom out a bit. Okay, so here we have four type of icon categories. Okay, utility, doc type, standard and custom, action. Okay, if you go to utility, click on this utility, so the utility icon will be in black and white color. Okay, and these are the icon names. Okay, so if you want to use these icons in your button, how you can use that? Go to your developer, just type icon name. First you have to define the category. What is the category? Category is utility. Okay, so type utility, utility. Okay, colon icon name. So what is the icon name we are using? Activity. Okay, now close, save this. Okay, so now my button will be displayed with this icon. Okay, if I refresh, you can see my button is displayed. Okay, So here the black color is nothing but this is no color is set on that actually. If you see this white bars, this will be replaced by your button color, which is whichever color is set on this button color, that will be visible. Okay, so this kind of a behavior, this kind of icon you can add using this syntax. Okay, so let me define one comment here to easily understand. Okay, syntax for syntax for defining button icons. Okay, button icons syntax. Okay, okay, so icon name equal to icon category, icon category name colon icon name. Okay, simple. So this you have to follow, okay, to define the icon. Okay, comment, save. Okay, let's say I want to use category, different category. Let's say we have document types. Okay, view document. So this will be icon based on the documents. If you see attachment, audio file, let's say CSV file, so generally we use this kind of icon. CSV, Excel, you have to deal with these icons in real time. Okay, Excel as CSV if you are dealing with the document coding, okay, document related work. Okay, Google Doc, HTML. Okay, so let's say we use CSV, and what is the category? Doc type. Okay, doc type is the category. So change the icon name here, category we have to change here, doc type. What is the name? CSV. Icon name CSV. Okay, save. Refresh. Okay, you can see the icon is there, but it is in very small font because based on the button size the icon will be adjusted, or that button. Okay, if you see in the standard code, the all icon are of same sizes. Okay, so delete icon you can also select. Okay, various icon you can select, and you can also search the icons. Okay, let's say I want to, let's say delete. Okay, let's say delete. So possible deleted icon will be shown from different categories. Okay, instead of looking, you can also directly search. Let's say what car. Okay, you can see car, truck, all these kind of icon will be shown in front of you. Okay, so these type of icon you can use. Okay, let's go to next category. Okay, so icons we have seen. Inverse variant. Inverse variant means nothing but it will change the color. Okay, it will inverse the label. We have variant called inverse, so let me use that. Okay, there are various variants of the button label. We are using the inverse version right now. Okay, so by default my background is white color, that's why it is white color. If I hover over this, the button is still there but the color is changed to white. So based on your application background color, that will be applied automatically to your button. Okay, so if you go to official documentation here, okay, specification. Okay, and here if you search for variants, okay, here you can read the variant changes the appearance of the button. Accepted variants are these: base, neutral, brand outline, destructive, inverse, success. Okay, all these are the different. So you can read over this. I will provide the link. Okay, try to explore this document. Okay, if you explore this, it will be easy for you to code. Okay, you can unmute yourself. Okay, instead of typing in the chat, you can unmute yourself and tell what is the question asked by Neelam. If we need to add button in middle of the page or in between that page, then which type will be used? Okay, if you want to add the button in the middle, okay, you have to play with the CSS. Okay, that is the CSS work. Okay, let's say I want to add this button. Let me change the variant first and let me add the button to the center of the page. Okay, instead of that I can use like this inside div. Okay, I can place my button. Okay, and here I can add my class. Okay, just same class we have to use here to center your element. Okay, let's provide some height. Not required. Okay, style. Okay, refresh. So this is how you center your button. You can see the button is now in the center place. Okay, similar to your org. Okay, if you click on this, the button will be in the center. Okay, this similar behavior we have created here. Okay, so this is how we deal with the buttons. Okay, so let's go to the another input, that is lightning icon. So lightning icon is same exactly. Okay, nothing difference. If you see here lightning icon, we have to search icon. Okay, now there are only two variants. Okay, you can see how the icons are being defined here. Okay, if you go here, this is the syntax: lightning colon icon, icon name is the parameter. The same parameter you can use on the button, just now we have used, right? And you have to provide the alternative text. Alternative text is nothing but, if you hover over that, approved, you can see approved, right? So this will be shown. These are basically same. Instead of alternative you can use title also, that is fine. Okay, so this is the category name, action colon the icon name. Okay, all the syntaxes are same, no difference. Okay, you can see all the properties are just there differently, means dealing with the css properties. Okay, that is, they have, you can see here sizes, they have used some sizes over here. If you see, read the text here: document icon represents file type and a preview or image unavailable. Okay, I guess they haven't used any size here. Okay, custom. Okay, they are just using the basics, basic icon name. Different category they have used here. Okay, action category, doc category, standard category, utility category, and custom category. All the five categories they have used here. Okay, and just they are just showing the icons over here. Okay, now let's say you want to provide the button size. Okay, so you can see the same icon with different sizes, you can also use that. Okay, so for defining the size, we have one size attribute is there. Okay, here you can specify large, medium, small, extra small. Okay, and medium is the default one. If you don't provide any size, so that will be considered as the medium. Okay, if you hover over this basic icon, these are all medium size. Okay, all medium size. Okay, so this way you can provide the size to the icon. Now after that we have card, lightning card. So this is the most important lightning based component. While you are working on the project, you will definitely came across this input. Okay, this type of input. Okay, so let's go to card. Okay, card. So what is lightning card? This, you can see this is the lightning card. Okay, this header part. Here you can specify icon, title, subtitle, footer. Footer is not provided here over. Okay, no footer is provided here. And this is the action slot, I guess actions, you can say actions. Whatever action you want to perform on this title or this component, you have to specify the buttons here. Okay, on click of that button the actions will be performed. Okay, let's go back here. So this is just the basic part. You can see title is provided, body is provided, footer is provided, and the action. Okay, so we will use this. Okay, our component, let me you can also directly code over here. Okay, application for demo purpose, let's code over here. Okay, let me save and let me comment all of this, not required. Okay, update preview. Now you can see this is the lightning card. Okay, hello is my title, card body, this is my body, and this is my footer, and this is my action. Okay, let's change a bit, let's make it a more uh, UI friendly. Okay, so you can customize this. Okay, narrow variant. Okay, this is the narrow variant. Where do you see such kind of a card? Okay, if you have done your admin classes, you must be knowing where this type of card is visible. Anyone have any idea where does this kind of a card we can see in the org? Anyone?
In the related
Correct, 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 correct.
Related.
Yes, correct. If you go to account, okay, and if you go to your related list, okay, here you can see that we have contacts. Okay, so these are the narrow variant of the card. Okay, you can see these are the narrow variant. Icon is shown, title is shown, and some fields which you have defined in the body. Okay, and this is the card within a card. Okay, you can see this is the outer card. Okay, with the icon, title, and this is the body of the outer lightning card inside that we have another card. Okay, this is the nested card, you can say. Okay, and this is your slot, action slot, and this is your narrow variant. Okay, here you can see the drop down with actions. Okay, so let's make this. Okay, so what we have to do for that? Okay, so let's first we will deal with the standard one. Okay, let's change this. Okay, instead of footer, let's say contact. Okay, and apply some icon. Let's add contact icon. Okay, footer, let's say footer. Okay, or we can say view, anything we can provide. And this is the aura colon set attribute you have to specify as actions. Okay, if you don't provide this actions, okay, it is not going to work. Okay, this is not going to work. Okay, okay, and the lightning button you have to add here, that is new. Okay, lightning button label new. Label you can provide anything, it is customizable. Okay, create new or create contact, let's say. Okay, you can see this is the standard SLDS classes they have used. Okay, and this is your body. Okay, inside body what we will do, let's say name, contact name, let's say Salesforce, let's say email Salesforce at Gmail, anything you can put. Okay, and footer we have already provided here, right? And contact. Now save. You can see this is looks a bit UI friendly, right? Let me place one break statement here. Now you can see contact is there, icon is there, create new contact button is there, view is there. Okay, so now this is the basic variant. Okay, which you can customize. Okay, so here let me explain this once again before proceeding with the next one. Okay, okay, it is already 10. Okay, let me explain this quickly. Okay, so for defining the lightning card you have to use this tag lightning colon card. Footer you have to provide. Okay, whatever footer text you want to provide you can add here. Title, title means what? This title. Okay, icon name before the icon. Okay, before the title if you want to provide any icon name you can provide it, it is optional. Okay, it is optional. After that if you want to provide any actions you have to provide this aura colon set attribute equal to actions, and inside that provide your buttons. Okay, lightning colon button, this is a basic variant of button, you can see. And the by default variant is what? Neutral. Okay, I have already repeated that. Okay, so many times by default it is neutral. Okay, variant. Let's say you want to change the variant, so you can change the variant like this brand, so it will change the color. Okay, now the color is changed. Okay, after that here you have to provide the body. Okay, inside the body you can provide any field or anything. Now let's say we have another variant here, that is narrow. Okay, just click over this and add over here, save, refresh. Okay, why the button is still there? Okay, so while you have provided the narrow variant, okay, you have to change the body of this. Okay, footer we have provided, icon name we have provided, title we have provided. Why it is not showing card body? Okay, let me check another variant. Lightning card set attribute footer. Okay, CSS. Okay, not required. Narrow button, it should be visible actually, but let's see. Okay, on click of that nothing is happening. Okay, let me place that narrow property before this tag. Let's check whether it will work or not. Okay, save. I guess it is not working because, okay, let me remove this button from here. Remove this, save. Okay, so we will see this tomorrow. Okay, because it is already 10. Okay, so we have covered this, we have a lot to cover. Okay, we have lightning layout. Okay, I am explaining actually in detail every part. Okay, otherwise I have just taken the one part and explain the different variant to you. Okay, so just go through all of this. Okay, how you can means read out, or how you can check this, learn this. Just go to this document. Okay, I have provided the link, I guess. Let me check. Okay. Okay, why it is not there? Okay, just go to this button. I will provide this link. Go to learn this, all of these things. Okay, let me share this. Okay, learn this by today. Practice this, all the different input types. Okay, how you can learn. Let's say I want to check this. Like, don't try this out. Just accept this. Try all, because this we will cover in the class later on. So let's say tab. Okay, just go to lightning tab. Okay, so you will open this URL. When you click on that link, inside lightning, go to tab. Okay, or you can say directly search tab here. Okay, and here aura, inside aura component will be there. Inside lightning, you have to click on this tab. Okay, so this is the tab. This will how the UI will be look. Okay, this will be there. Okay, and you just have to study the code. Okay, the just simple tag will be there, some properties will be there. Okay, just read that, practice that. If you face any problem, let me know. Okay, let me know. Just remove this lightning data table, and otherwise all the things you can practice by your own. Okay, and let me know if you face any problem. Okay, we are already learning going with very slow. From tomorrow onward we will go a little bit faster. Okay, so tomorrow what we are going to see, we will see form. Okay, lightning based component form. After that we will create one calculator. By providing two numbers, we will perform addition, multiplication, division, subtraction. Okay, that thing we are going to see tomorrow. Okay, so practice this and share your number, mobile number and email ID. uh, you can share personally on my Skype ID. Okay, don't share on the group. Okay, so thank you, bye bye, see you tomorrow then. Okay, let me stop the recording.